The purpose of marketing has always been to be creative. It's always been to kind of come up with interesting ways of communicating to different groups of people for the sake of, either influencing them in some way or selling them something. Because of that, you can't necessarily replace that with the advanced technologies that we're seeing. What they're really meant to do is just kind of complement how we go about that, but not necessarily replace it. As a marketplace, the more we're sort of yelling and making a lot of noise, the more we're going to crave silence. And I think the people that are able to kind of see that sort of behavior and that kind of pattern that we have where we do too much of something and then all of a sudden it's like, I don't want any of that. We've sort of rushed to market because everybody wants to be the boldest and loudest and most prominent voice in a room. And that's okay, but to the extent that everybody is doing that, how are you going to start to differentiate? Your content just has to just be better. It doesn't necessarily have to be produced faster all the time. It doesn't necessarily have to be out there in every possible channel all the time. Sometimes it just has to be very targeted, very specific, and just very good. What we're seeing now is more of a demand for just transparency and just how we are able to serve you better as a consumer. So if I'm a marketer that is collecting information about you for the sake of serving you better, I should probably tell you that. There's definitely more of a demand from the consumer side to just understand, like, where's all my data going and for what purpose, am I giving it over? I would absolutely still hone in on as much, writing and sort of the technical understanding of the language and the way it translates. But you also want to look at things that you typically would have had to take like freshman year of college, like sociology or like anthropology, those kinds of social sciences. I think we do a disservice to them when we don't see how they translate into the wider context of business and into just how we're able to do our jobs better. From a marketing leadership perspective, it's interesting that we just have to become more insightful, and that's both for internal purposes and external purposes. So internally, you have a variety of functions across an organization that you have to be able to speak to effectively, and you have to be able to rally behind a specific cause. And then externally, it's the exact same thing. We have to kind of understand that there are increasing complexities and increasing nuances, and it's a good thing, and we need to kind of lean into that. I certainly encourage people to be just more imaginative in general, because I think technology is not the goal. The goal is to imagine a new future, and technology becomes the vehicle that allows you to get there either faster or just better. What kind of future can we come up with? What sort of stories can we create, and how do we drive people towards that using the technologies that are available? It's a matter of just being a perpetual student, and I think that if you kind of get locked into your organization and into your function or your role, you might not see the ways that the world around you might be moving.